Yes, I came home and I was standing out the front here and I was watching all the smoke in the distance, and I could see it coming, and I prepared as much as I could. I prepared the pump and pulled out all my hoses and got all that ready, and then I stood out here and watched it. And as the front was coming over, it started spotting all over the sides. All the undergrowth was catching on fire and it was creeping up, but then the treetops were going up, and then this big front came over, and when it actually hit, I stood to the side here in front of this, behind this pillar here, and everything came rushing past me. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't do anything, and it just went pitch black. It was just all this roaring sound, and all the leaves and sticks were on fire coming past. And then at that moment I realised I have to go back to the bunker, and I thought, I can't stand here for another second, and I had to walk out in front of it, and I was all rugged up with proper clothing and everything, and I stepped out into the front to my back, and then I walked back to the bunker and then locked myself in there. I realised at that time you couldn't do anything out here, you couldn't even be out here. I shut the door, and I was watching, and all the smoke and leaves and that were coming through all the little gaps around the side, and all the oxygen was getting sucked out of here. And then but I realised I had a motorbike in here which I could let the air out of the tyres if I needed to, and I had oxyacetylene in here so I could use the oxygen for that. And I just stood in here, and I knew there was nothing I could do outside. You just had to shelter from it. Everything was catching on fire. I stayed in here between 5 and 10 minutes, and then I went out at the end of the storm and started putting out fires. But I remember thinking at the time, like, it just felt like it was forever. It just wouldn't finish, you know. And yeah, it's just the smoke that was coming in. I had a little hole on the side here where you can actually see flames trying to get in, and even around the gaps here, like leaves that were on fire were getting in. And yeah, it was just totally full of smoke. It was just all the air was getting sucked out really, really fast. It was like someone was pumping the smoke in here. And I knew by being in here I was totally safe. I knew this would survive anything, and just knowing that and feeling that I was going to be okay in here was all that really mattered. And without this, the chances of survival would have been, I wouldn't have survived without this. No way. Not what was going on outside. So I just felt totally safe in here.